All right, what's going on, Black Speakers Network family? Brian O's is here. That's weird. Brian O's is here. BSN is in the building. Y'all know what it is, but check it out. This is our very first Black Speakers Network Speaker Spotlight Series. And if you're wondering what the heck is a Speaker Spotlight Series, let me tell you. I am super excited today to be introducing you to some of the best and brightest thought leaders, experts, speakers, authors, creatives, influencers, entrepreneurs, you name it, from across the Black Speakers Network community. And so this is a series. This is the kickoff of the series. We're going to be doing this quite regularly until they tell us to stop. Until y'all tell us to stop. But basically, it's an opportunity for you to get an opportunity to learn and meet some of the best and brightest from across the Black Speakers Network community. And so I'm super excited that you are here. If you are a Black Speakers Network member, I want to go ahead and welcome you. If you are not BSN member, or if you're just checking us out for the first time, we want to welcome you as well. We hope that the interviews that you're here from today will kind of ignite your imagination, spark some conversation, as well as give you an opportunity to meet some incredible speakers. And obviously, if you are a meeting planner, if you're a podcast host, if you're someone who's, putting together an event, a conference, a seminar, you might just find your next speaker right here in Black Speakers Network, here in the Speaker Spotlight interview. So let's go ahead and dive right on to it. Just so you know, these are not long interviews. In fact, they're only 5 minutes. 5 minutes. And we live in a generation where your attention span is already limited. And so we thought, what better way to kind of kick things off than to be able to give you just a small taste of the amazing speakers that we have across the BSN community. So without further ado, I'm going to jump into our very first speaker and bring her up. And it is none other than Chief Strategist, Miss VJ Niles, in the building. VJ, tell us about yourself and welcome.
Hi, Brian. Thanks for having me. I am Vickasia J. Niles. I go by VJ. I am a chief strategist and coach. I help you get to your aha moment, and then we take aha to voila. I'm an MBA. I've had 4 careers and 4 businesses, and I am originally from New York, but I live as a digital nomad, and I live in the Dutch Caribbean. I am living the dream, I guess you could say, but I help other people to do the same because I just feel like we all deserve to be happy. And so that's kind of how I live my life. I live my life the way I kind of work with my clients is helping people reach their dreams and their goals.
Absolutely. I love that, VJ. And I've seen your work. I've seen the clients that you work with. And so tell us a little bit about what inspires you to do this work, because I know it is not easy. You're a mid-career strategist, so you're helping people kind of navigate their way. Very important right now with the state of the economy. But what inspires you to do this?
Well, I really didn't have that much help with my career when I was, coming up the ranks. I did learn how to climb the corporate ladder at like 22 years old, like my first corporate job. But then after that, there really wasn't much help. There wasn't many people to guide me along the way. I started out with a degree in tech, and like to find somebody who looked like me in tech to be a mentor was just like not happening. So my career path was very like a roller coaster. It was all up and down and loops, and I transitioned 4 different times, and I realized like I learned how to do this through some hard methods, and I could really teach people how to do this a lot easier. So I definitely help people with career transitions. I help mid-level people who are like tired and frustrated and ready to get promoted or move on to a new role or just even start a business. Whatever it is that's the next level for them, that's what I help them to do. And it's kind of why I like doing it.
That makes perfect sense to me, VJ. I know that anytime that I spent 11 years in corporate America myself, I could have used the VJ in my life, I think, at that time, because I didn't know if I should be going for a promotion or, trying like how to, I guess, brand myself internally within an organization. And, I'm sure I made a whole bunch of mistakes that you helped folks with. And so with that in mind, can you give us just some insight into like your approach? Like what's your methodology? Like when somebody's working with you, or they find you and they're like, hey, I've been bumping my head against the wall, trying to get to the next level. I need help. What's kind of the first few steps you take people through?
Well, one of the things I do is make sure we're realistic in whatever we're doing. I don't do pie in the sky coaching. I'm not the type of person to be like, hey, quit your job and find what you know, love. If you hate your job, like that's not me. That's not realistic. You have bills to pay, you like to eat. So one, I'm always very realistic with people, but a lot of times it's really just getting people back their confidence and helping them to kind of find their inner light, because so many people have hidden themselves to kind of deal with working in corporate, right? I get a lot of women, I get a lot of people of color, and everybody's just kind of like, I feel like I've had to shrink. So one, I tell them that it's okay to not shrink. That's our starting point. Like, you don't have to shrink. Yes, you're allowed to be happy at work. You know what? You're supposed to be happy. You're not supposed to be miserable. So that's usually my starting point. And then I'll go through, you know, like, what are you looking for? What are your goals? And then really helping people just figure out the steps on how to achieve them. Some people think that like, oh, but I'm 45 now, I'm 50. There's still, there's no time left for me, or, oh, I can't transition my career, or maybe I can't get that promotion. That's not the case. So for most, I spent a lot of time really coaching people through being okay with having goals again and having dreams again, and that they can actually achieve them.
And I know you're probably working with people from multiple industries, but
Mm-hmm.
is there any particular industry that you probably most enjoy working with, or see the most people coming from you? Like, it was like financial services. I'm sure tech people are like burned
Yeah.
out or whatever, and it might not be. But is there any one particular industry that you are like, oh, this is like my sweet spot?
Well, I work with a lot of STEM individuals because I've worked in those fields, and people in the business field. But lately, it's been educators, really helping a lot of teachers get out of the classroom and kind of find joy again. That's been a newer sweet spot for me, is really helping a lot of teachers, but definitely STEM professionals, people throughout business, if it's like accounting, if it's financial services, if it's legal or marketing. I get a lot of those people. Um, that's usually the bulk of them, STEM and business people. But like I said, recently it's definitely been educators. I feel bad for a lot of the teachers out there that are just not appreciated.
Absolutely. And in my opinion, they need to be some of the highest paid people because
Yes, they should.
they literally have our future in their hands. Well, BJ, I have one last question for you.
Sure.
And obviously, I probably will end all of our interviews with this question. How do you want to be remembered? I feel like all of us are doing
Ooh.
deep legacy work. You are impacting people around the world. And then by extension, you're impacting people's families as you help them to grow their career. But like, what do you want to be remembered for?
I want to be remembered for helping you to sparkle bright and to realize that you can live the life you deserve and not the one you settled for.
Mhm. There it is. This,
That's it.
as Quinn Conyers would say, this mic drop moment is brought to you by BJ Niles. All right, BJ, we are done. Thank you so much. I
Thank you for
appreciate
having
you.
me.
You are welcome. And guess what? If you are looking to work with BJ, if you're looking to connect with her, her information is updated on our directory at blackspeakersnetwork.com. So you could go there and find all about. All you gotta do is literally type in BJ. She's the only BJ. Only BJ.
That's it.
That's there. And you can connect with her on social media or her website. So thank you, BJ.
Thank you, everyone.
See you
Bye.
next time. Bye bye. All right. So there you have it. First interview in the books. And so if you're just joining us, we are live doing Black Speakers Network Speaker Spotlight interviews. And as you just saw, these are 5-minute rapid fire interviews. We're not wasting any time. We're not wasting any energy. We're getting right into it. And so I am coming right to our next speaker, and that is the one and only Miss Nicole Vic out on the West Coast. Nicole, tell us
Yeah.
about yourself.
Hey, Brian, thank you for having me. You know what? Let me just say this. The moment that somebody told me about the word multi-hyphenate, I was like, that's me. So, my name is Nicole D. Vic. As Brian said, I am a public health professional. I'm a social justice advocate. I'm a college professor, an author, a mom. I have 2 video podcasts. So, multi-hyphenate, I do all the things, definitely applies to me. I'm also really, really engaged in my community. I am here in South Los Angeles, born, raised, will probably die here, and love this place with all of my heart.
I love it. Yeah, just reading your bio and getting the opportunity to understand you a little bit. I was like, man, she's working in community. She's an entrepreneur. She's working like it's multiple things. So I'm glad you are dropping some new vocabulary on us. So I started with this question for you as well. What is it that inspired you, particularly since you have these multi channels of impact? that you are constantly working on? Like, what is the thing that gets you out of bed in the morning?
I would say probably three big ones. First of all, I stand on the shoulders of giants. And I'm not talking about Martin Luther King Jr. and Rosa Parks. They're important. I'm talking about people in my own family. I just found the slave narrative of my great great grandfather. So I know on whose shoulders I stand today. First and foremost. Second of all, again, my community, the people that live here, we have gotten such a bad rap in this neighborhood, the violence and all the rumors and the things. There are folks here that are hardworking, that want to change things, make things better, are holding up this community. And then the last one, my kid and what's that, Gen Z? I don't even know what generation we're on, but the young ones. They are so amazing. They're speaking truth to power. They are on these social media platforms showing up and showing out. People are talking about the future is lost. No, it ain't. These kids got it.
That makes a lot of sense to me. Being in Baltimore, I can connect with having a, I guess, sensitivity to the amount of issues that cities across America are struggling with violence and education. Civil rights is still a huge issue, and just getting people to participate and making our communities better is huge. And so I know that you are an author, speaker on top of all of that. And tell us a little bit about the work that you do from that perspective. Who would you say is the main audience that you serve, and who do you love working with?
So I speak mostly on public health and social justice issues. I can speak on those from an academic perspective, right? I have 20 years of experience in public health. I'm a public health professor, so I can do that. And I've done that with community-based organizations, helping people to understand the connection between race and health outcomes in populations, talk about racism and why it impacts people's health. But again, this multi-hyphenate comes in. I also can work with women, right? I'm a plus size woman, and I often talk to them about self-care, how to dress to make yourself feel better. So it's weird how I can just switch. And to me, they may seem like disconnected topics, but they are all connected around wellness and making sure that we're okay. And that wellness could be for self, or we can be looking at the bigger picture with the community through some of the public health stuff that I talk about. So it's a lot. I can go anywhere, whatever you want. I'm there.
That makes a lot of sense to me. And I think a lot of times organizations really appreciate that, when you have the ability to draw on different areas of expertise, but you also have the ability to bring together different communities as well. And so there are very few people, I think, that have that skill set. And I'm glad that you bring that to the table. And so from a public health perspective, what are the things that are kind of top of mind for you right now? Like, what do you find yourself talking to people about? Obviously, we are still in a pandemic, even though people don't, want to perhaps acknowledge that fully. But, what are the things that, people are talking about, that you're passionate about talking about, or that you're in the community trying to get the message across about?
I think the biggest one, of course, is to help people understand what public health is and why it is important and why it should not be politicized, first of all, and make it real. So, yes, you see the people on the news from the CDC and stuff like that, but like day to day, what does public health do? That's one of the biggest ones. And then secondly, this intersection, again, between stuff like racism and health outcomes. What happens when you take people's access to things like housing away from them, or you make it too expensive, or you don't have public transportation? Those things don't seem health related, but they actually have huge impacts on the quality of people's lives. We're talking about people's life expectancy being shortened because they are in poverty. And so I try to help people understand those connections. And then, okay, well, then now what, right? So what do we do next? And then I say, well, you might want to vote. You might want to run for office. You might want to, start thinking about ways you can interact with your community and help, in any ways that you can. I am a firm believer that you can use what's in your head and in your heart to make change. You don't have to wait for permission or $1 million or an extra degree or, all these degrees after your name. You can do what you can right now to make a huge difference. And so that's kind of what I focus on.
I love it. And so I'll end this 5-minute rapid fire interview with the same question for you, Nicole. What do you want to be remembered for?
Oh my gosh, for my love of community and my willingness to just go the extra. I'm always looking out for other people. So hopefully when I'm in my casket, everybody can say, dang, Nicole sure did look out for me, and tried to connect me to resources, information, jobs, whatever. So my love for community and my ability to connect folks to resources and to people.
Powerful, powerful stuff. Nicole Vic, thank you so much again. Proud member of Black Speakers Network here. And guess what? If you want to connect with Nicole out on the West Coast, I think I went out for a second, but blackspeakersnetwork.com is where you can find out. Just type in Nicole Vic. She's the only Nicole Vic, Nicole D Vic, actually, Nicole D Vic. And all her information is there for you to connect. So thank you, Nicole. And thanks for being on BSN Speaker Spotlight. All right. So as you can see, we are rocking and rolling. And again, we have one. We have well, technically two, but we have one interview left. We have two speakers. You'll find out why in a moment. But this is what it is. And so I just want to remind you right now, if you are interested in being a part of these BSN Speaker Spotlight interviews, as you can see, they're not hard. It gives you an opportunity to quickly be able to share who you are, what you do, and give us some insight into your thought leadership and expertise. And so if you are interested in being a part of our next BSN Speaker Spotlight interview series, we have actually 4 slots available. You do have to be a Black Speakers Network member. So just head on over to blackspeakersnetwork.com/join to do that. And we'll make sure that you get all the details. But going right into our last, but certainly not least, interview here at the Spotlight, we have the one and only Rio and Micca Watkins. The Powermates are in the building. What's going on? Tell us about yourself.
Hey, Brian.
What's
hey,
up?
BSN.
What's up, BSN family? You know, if I put on the jacket, it's a real deal. You know what I mean? But what's up, everybody? It's your man, Rio.
And this is your girl, Micca. And we are the duo that make up Powermate. And what is Powermate? So we are a brand that speaks about healthy love, healthy relationships. We help singles go from frustrated to happy and healthy in love. And we are now working with couples who just want to preserve and maintain a happy, healthy relationship.
I love it. And I'm so glad that you do this work because I think a lot of times, as you all know, we're just out here. There's no rule book to life. There's no playbook to finding your power mate, or once you find them, now keeping your power mate. And so I agree. Like, I think this is very powerful work. And so, guys, tell us, and you're building this brand as a couple, which I think is a really unique positioning. When organizations bring you in, they get not one but two perspectives. You get male and female energy. And so that's the thing I really, really love about your brand. But tell us what inspires you to do this work.
So, wow, the big inspiration is what you said. There is no playbook. And a lot of us never learned how to date. We never learned how to love. We never really learned how to do relationships. And we see the issue with that, especially within our community, within the Black community. So we have a drive and a passion and a mission and a calling to address that. So with Powermates, yes, you are going to find love. You are going to get booed up, take vacations, sure. But we also are big on building relationship wealth for future generations. That's a big driving force for us, and the reason why we wake up every morning and do this kind of work.
That makes perfect sense. And so, if you're listening to this now, and you might be speaking someone's language, but maybe break it down for us a little bit. Like, how would I know if I'm talking to somebody that Rio and Micca needs to talk to? Obviously, I got a lot of friends. Some are single, some are booed up, as you mentioned. But how would I know? Like, hey, y'all like either listening to the way they're talking or where they are in life. How would I know, and how would our BSN family know if we need to get somebody over to the Powermates right away?
So a few things. You're hearing things like, man, I got it going on. I'm successful. I'm successful in my business. I'm successful in my career. I got a great job. I've put the time in. I'm ready to settle down. But these dating streets, they're just horrible. I'm not meeting the right person. I'm getting ghosted. I don't know what I'm doing. Dating sucks. Love sucks. Definitely, they need to step over into the Powermate camp, because that is not the case.
Absolutely.
That makes a lot of sense to me. Is it anything, can you give us some insight right now, just kind of maybe what you're hearing in the dating world? Obviously, like you said, it's 2022. Technology is here, you know, TikTok, and everybody has their own philosophy on how to actually find love, or if we should even be, you know, searching for it at all. What is your kind of overall feeling on like kind of the state of dating, I guess, let's say in America in 2022 now? Is there any insight or things that you want people to know?
So yes, yes, definitely. There's two things. I think one thing that everybody has to realize is a lot of people are dating for attention and not with intention, which are not the same things. A lot of people out here dating because they want attention, because I'm lonely. I need somebody to fill in space and fill in gaps. Well, if you have an intention, that means having a clear vision, plan, and action, and a strategy behind how you go about dating. That's how you can have healthy, successful relationships. So yes, you can get relationship advice from a child. You can get it from all over the place. But the main thing you need is a strategy and accountability to make sure you are actually building a relationship you desire.
And another thing that I would say that we're seeing, and it's a myth that we have to trump all the time, is that dating is hard. Well, anything is hard if you make it hard, or if you think it's going to be hard. Going back to what Rio said, it's hard because you don't know the strategies that are working, right?
That makes perfect sense. Yeah, I think in general, when you are out and sometimes it's love can kind of go on the back burner, because I think sometimes we could put like education first and then our career first, and sometimes we have you know, we have kids, and you know, but we're not necessarily in relationships, so the kids become first, or parents, if anybody's dealing with aging parents, then they become first. And so it gets so hard to put the oxygen mask on everybody else but yourself first when it comes to finding love. It's such a big part of our existence, and I think it's so hard for us to kind of have a supportive place to go that can provide, and people that can provide real strategies to be able to make it work. And it's messy and it's complicated. So that's one thing I love about you all. You always are acknowledging that, and you create a great community. Can you tell us a little bit about the Powermates like community? Because I know you all do a lot in terms of, you know, bringing people together, in terms of, you know, building and making sure that there is kind of like a safe space to talk about this stuff. So you tell us a little bit about your work as it pertains to that, and how you are able to, you know, show up for people once they find you.
For sure. So the Powermate community, we've sort of created it to have, it's a multi-level journey, let's say. So we accommodate anyone who is new to dating. They've made a decision that they do want a relationship. They might not be happy with what they've been doing in the past or the results that have been showing up. So they come to us in what you would call the new to dating, or the attraction phase of dating. And then from there, they can transition, or we will work with people that are currently dating, right? They're going out, they're dating multiple people, and they're trying to figure out, okay, the nooks and crannies, and to maneuver their journey as to who they're going to exclusively date, right? That's the next phase, the exclusive dating phase. Because once you make a decision, you find somebody and it's like, okay, this is my person. Now what? Love and relationships is not something, like you said, Brian, it's not taught in school. You may learn from your environment growing up, from your parents, aunts, you know, uncles, whatever, but is that the best advice that is for you? So we've catered and you know, curtailed our community to speak to those people that are specifically at that level. And then once they make a decision that, yes, this is my power mate, and we are going to be walking down the aisle, because the majority of people, that's their goal in our community, is to get married, then we help them through that transition to go from exclusively dating to married, and help them to maneuver their journey as to what that looks like for them.
Yeah, and our community is about that action too, Brian. They're about that action. So we can sit around and talk and kumbaya, but you won't go on 3 dates a month is what you're gonna do. So we hold people accountable to get out there and actually give dating a try and give love a try. So it's not just about sitting back and talking. We have goals that you need to reach in order to get to where you want to be. So we hold people accountable to doing the action as well.
That's good. I think of communities of accountability mixed with a little bit of like tough love and some information is the place where people absolutely grow. So I love that. And I end with the same question I posed to everyone else, maybe a two-parter since it's two of you, but how do you want to be remembered?
Oh man, when people think of Micca, and I will tell you right now, this is what I'm hearing. Micca gives it to you straight. It's that tough love, but it's exactly what you need. So many people are caught up in the idea of what they think they should be for other people. And they don't really have people in their lives giving it to them straight and helping them to just, push through and really enjoy who they're becoming. That's in love, that's in business, that's in their career, that's in everything. So when somebody thinks of Micca, I want them to think of that person that loved them so much that they can now love themselves and others.
Yeah, and I want people to remember me as somebody who's an advocate for Black love. To be honest, I think we've had a lot of things that have tried to separate us and pull us apart. And I believe what's going to help rebuild us and just keep us in a place that we're supposed to be is having that relationship between men and women that's so special. So I want that to continue to be a thing. I want to be left. I don't know what Micca's doing, but I want us to be, I want us to be remembered as somebody who's an advocate for love and relationships, especially healthy ones in our community. That's a big thing for me.
You can just see the chemistry on screen, off screen. I love you guys. It is so cool. But Ria and Micca, thank you so much. The Powermates are here in Black Speakers Network. If y'all want to connect with them, make sure you visit the Black Speakers Network. .com speakers profile, or you can go to blackspeakersnetwork.com/speaker-directory and check them out. Always sharing great content, practical advice, and we appreciate y'all. Thanks again for joining us on the very first BSN Speaker Spotlight interview series. All right, guys. So there you have it. And so, spotlighted y'all. So there you have it. Still learning this thing. We are done. And that was our 3 interviews for today. And guess what? We are not done because the series is just kicking off. And so again, Black Speakers Network is here. If you're not familiar, our mission is to equip, connect, and inspire the next generation of Black professional speakers, and creating powerful platforms for you to be able to share your message and connect with your ideal audience is central to what it is that we're doing. And the BSN Speaker Spotlight Series is just a part of that. We also have Black Speakers Network speaker training, which happens weekly. We have mastermind meetings. We have podcast. I mean, you name it, we have it. But the main goal is, if you're a speaker, we want to make sure you get plugged in to training, resources, as well as speaking opportunity you need to move your speaking business forward. And so if you are interested in being interviewed, just like you just heard from our amazing guests today, VJ, Nicole, and Rio and Micca, guess what? It is not too late. You can still get on. You have to be a Black Speakers Network member, and you have to be on our speakers directory. Once you do that, you are able to go ahead and schedule your interview too. So go ahead and head on over to blackspeakersnetwork.com/join if you need to. If you're already a BSN member, make sure that you grab the link from our BSN Premium Members Facebook group. Get your interview scheduled, and we will see you on stage. So as we close out, I want to go ahead and share with you just a little bit of more information about what it means to be a Black Speakers Network member. And guess what? We'll see y'all next time. Take care. Being at a HBCU like Morgan State University, I saw firsthand the talent, the expertise, the creativity that we bring to the table when it comes to this world of public speaking.
Black Speakers Network is a space where I can interact and engage with my tribe, with Black speakers.
It's all reflective of an abundance mindset that there is enough for all of us to win big.
BSN serves others not only in community, culture, but around the world.
BSN not only helped me book additional paid opportunities, Vick gave me the accountability and confidence booster I needed to really strive and thrive consistently in my business.
They curate all the engagements and email them to you. So all you have to do is simply click and apply to the one that's applicable for your niche.
I have built my business and have expanded my knowledge, met amazing people, and I have landed several speaking engagements.
I truly thank the entire team behind Black Speakers Network for helping me share my story with the world.
In less than 3 years, I was able to increase my visibility, my credibility, and even my connectivity.
What I experienced with BSN is phenomenal connections. And I've met so many great people that have added value to my life in ways I just wouldn't have expected.
If you want to speak on college stages, BSN has something for you. If you want to speak and sell, I feel like BSN has a cohort for you.
At the end of the day, Black Speakers Network is really there for anyone who is longing to reach the audience that they're called to serve.
Black Speakers Network truly is a place where you can feel like you're home. If you are on the fence, get off the fence and join the family. You won't regret it.
It is the #1 organization that I recommend that every speaker become a member of if you really want to catapult your success and maximize to its fullest potential your voice.